What's up, YouTube? It's Biblical Truther. I don't know if you guys remember the video I made a few years ago talking about the next thing having been the H5N9, I believe it was, that we looked up way back when. And it had to do with the solution for the CV thing that happened in 2020. Well, now we're starting to see, and the FDA just released, they're going to be testing cows for this particular virus and probably going to call any herds that test positive for it. But Mary Greeley, I think is her name, she put up a video yesterday talking about this and how I thought pasteurization of milk was a process to kill any type of pathogens or viruses or bacteria that could harm human beings. So why now are they testing the milk and saying it's dangerous to everyone, so they can just do away with the whole cow, not just the milk? But if pasteurization is the sterilization process of milk, then what's the problem? Secondly, just recently, I had a friend of mine that I work with periodically on different jobs. He's came up with COVID-19 here just, I think, in the last week or so. Haven't had a chance to talk to him since. But one thing I can say, years ago, they started hanging these black boxes on every pole in front of every house all over my county. And I made a video about it suggesting that this was for 6G. And I made a second video because the power company came around knocking on doors, and you can't find this on my channel anymore because they took it down where I was suggesting we were on 6G like 2 years ago. But they came around talking about how they were coming out with a new internet through the power company, that if we wanted or we were interested, that we can get internet through them. And my wife said, if it's 5G, we're not interested. And the guy that was there that knocked on her door said, oh no, it's way faster than 5G. So I made the assumption back then that they had cranked up to 6G when the C9er hit, right? Well, I think one of those videos are still up. I'm on my four-wheeler and I'm videotaping the black box on the power poles. If I'm not mistaken, on this channel, it's the very first video because it was after my last channel got taken down. So I started this channel, and I think that was the very first one, and I want to say it's still up, but I'm not for sure. They've done hit like 12 or 15 of my videos since about 6 months ago. But Monograph just put up a video talking about a guy who said that when Trump takes office on January 21st, that Trump's administration is going to have to deal with a series of pathogens. Now, all this talk about Elon and Trump and this new banking system and all this, basically they're going to use this SARS-25 because we're fixing to hit 2025. And if you remember that movie Songbird, it was based in 2025. There was also another movie called SARS-29 where the same thing happened. They had a 2020 scamdemic, and then 2025 another one hit, and then I think in the movie 2029 where it wiped out like 2/3 of the earth or something like that, population of the earth. But anyway, they've made several movies about this, but we're fixing to head into 2025. And what they're trying to do with the monetary system and go all digital, first they got to get rid of the cash. So, the BF, the bird situation would be the perfect thing to get rid of cash. But then you're on to strictly digital, which all of our phones have gotten updates, and you now have a digital wallet on your phone if you didn't know that. But all these series of updates we've gotten over the last year was setting up this very thing, in which they will use the blockchain to accomplish this worldwide kind of, as Monograph calls it, the electronic panopticon. But I'm going to venture to say that this next one is going to be the 7G being cranked up, because according to my research, they cannot run this blockchain on 5G. It would need something in upwards of 7G in order for it to work. And then once we hit 8G, which will probably be the SARS 2029, which would be total control, it will be the electronic, what do they call it? The Internet of People, the Internet of Things, the Internet of People, because that's basically all we are to these people are things, chattel. So I'm putting this out there now because not only is this happening and people are starting to pop up wearing masks again and they're trying to scare the population with the bird flu shit. My wife started doing some research because she was told that it had to do with radiation. So she started digging into it. She sent me this website right here of a study that was done. Check this out. So this is from the National Library of Medicine, PubMed Central. Ionizing radiation exposure in patients with that more than needed. The aim of the study was to evaluate ionizing radiation exposure in patients with that thing from back in the day. This was a retrospective study in which all patients presented with the suggestive symptoms of that were included. The study was carried out in a university-affiliated private hospital in Istanbul, Turkey. Biological radiation dose exposure was evaluated in millisivert units, whatever that is. A total of 1,410 patients were included in the study. 804 patients underwent one CT scan of the chest. 606 patients had two or more procedures. In conclusion, radiation exposure in those patients seemed unjustifiably high. Awareness should be increased as to the proper use of CT and those type of patients as per to the society recommendations. After reporting of the first case in the province of China in December, severe acute respiratory syndrome, blah, 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 reached pandemic proportions in 2020. Multi-system disease, compromising cytokine storm, blah, 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 blah. It just goes through all the stuff, and that these PCR tests actually, if I'm not mistaken, are used for radiation poisoning testing as well. So I'll link this in the description for you guys to check out and read yourself. So they're telling you right there in the article how this stuff works. It's the radiation does something and activates or does something to where you have DNA lesions or whatnot. Like, is that CRISPR? Are they editing DNA with these splices or whatever, cuts, lesions, whatever, whatever they are? And we called this a long time ago when we talked about the situation in 1998 that happened over in Africa, where there was a kind of a zombie outbreak type situation. I think that video might still be up. It may not. If not, I think it might be on my BitChute channel. It's called Everyone's Got AIDS. Team America. You should check that out on BitChute. Biblical Truth on BitChute. I might try and get the link and put it in the description. But there was another video that I can't seem to find anymore. I guess it got taken down as well, where it went in depth on all the vax properties and how these type of frequencies can activate certain things, cause certain things. And so yeah, I think we're fixing to head into the 7G arena. I don't think they're quite to 8, but we're getting close, man. So a lot of these symptoms are not virus related at all. It's radiation sickness. And check this out, because what is the PCM test for? And this is the screenshot from the National Institute of Health.gov website. quantitative extra-long PCR to detect DNA lesions in patients exposed. I don't have this one pulled up, but the conclusion, DNA damage even at low doses of radiation, can be assessed by quantitative extra-long PCR testing. Radiation sickness. So we all know that the frequencies get cranked up at nighttime while we're sleeping. It's probably why we wake up feeling groggy and sore and all these other things that people are experiencing nowadays. But it's crazy if we don't come together, in the very, very, very near future to fight against these people. America's doomed. The world is doomed. And these people will be the oligarchs of the world and continue to do what they do, what they always have done, and what they're continuing to do right now. So, as who was that? Ronald Reagan said, we need to set aside our differences and come together, but not as a one world government, but a one world people against such tyranny that we see all around the world, and especially here in America, where it's definitely taken root, and I would venture to say is the epicenter of Mystery Babylon. So I'm just throwing this out there, man. Whatever you need to do to protect yourself against radiation, Lucas iodine is one thing you can do. Helps your body process all that trash out. But as that article said, just a simple CT scan can mess someone up. What do you think these big old towers are doing right above our children's heads at every school that I've been past? There's one at every school. It's like 3 or 4 stacks of antennas just irradiating our children. Crazy, man. We don't come together, we're doomed. We're doomed. But hopefully that revival, that move of God will take place and soften those hardened hearts, because man, people today are just so selfish, for the lack of a better term. They're just beyond loving. They have went 180 degrees in the opposite direction. But I'm just putting this out there, man. It's fisting to go down again. They're priming everyone with the media, and I'm gonna call it as moving on to 7G. And if they strike this video, then that'll just be confirmation to me that I'm correct again. So I just wanted to let you guys know what I'm seeing. The issue really is. Just like when I called out the 6G, that was right about the time of the last one. And they struck those videos immediately. Had nothing to do with CV. But yet they took them down immediately. So why is that? Probably because that was a effect of the 6G being cranked up. Now we're fixing to get the effect of 7G. As I've said, if you don't believe me, do your own research about the blockchain. They cannot run it on anything but 7 or 8G. And yes, we are that far along. So, love you guys.
Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints,